Hey class, so we made it to the final lesson of the module 6.4D, circle applications. This is going to be a review lesson, just to know and just to make sure that we're comfortable with all the formulas that we were given. Please note that currently I feel like we will have an assessment of some sort. It will be online, and I just want to see and assess your knowledge. So this is definitely going to be on the assessment, as well as all the things that we learned in Module 6. So just make sure that you review. I definitely will review with you. I also plan to provide a practice test as usual. So just stay tuned on Google Classroom. And yeah, if you ever have any questions, obviously email me, write a comment on Google Classroom, and just let me know, make me aware of your question, and I'll do my best to help. So let's start. What is the formula for the circumference of a circle? Okay, the past 3 lessons we've talked about this. There are 2 formulas. The first one deals with radius, which is 2 pi r. Or if you have the diameter, you can simply just say it's pi times diameter. It really depends on what the problem gives you. And I actually am used to this one, but if they give us a diameter, obviously I'll just go straight to the answer. We know that the area of a circle, the formula for that is pi r squared. You take your radius, you multiply it by the radius, you multiply it by itself basically, and then you multiply it by pi. Remember that pi is 3.14, which is an approximation. And if they want you to use the exact form, then you just use pi, right? The exact number for pi is simply just pi. What if you were only given the circumference of a circle? Could you find the radius? Yeah, well, of course, right? If I gave you the circumference of a circle, if I gave you the c value, could you solve for the r value? Like, let's say the circumference was 90 or something like that, right? You take the 90 and you slowly isolate the r. So you just have to divide both sides by 2 and then divide both sides by pi, right? Simply divide the circumference by 2 pi to isolate the radius. Once you divide both sides by 2 pi, you will get r equals, c over 2 pi. So I'll even go ahead and write that, right? So if c equals 2 pi r and you divide both sides by 2 pi, you kind of get the fact that r is equal to c over 2 pi. Okay? And then we're going to finish off the lesson with some word problems, some realistic word problems. It tells you, I really like the last question, and hopefully you guys know why. So let's go ahead and practice. So it says, write an equation for each problem and then solve. It may be helpful to draw a picture. Okay, so number 2 says, Michael loves swimming. He swam around the edge of a circular pool and found that it took him 176 strokes to swim 1 complete time around the pool. About how many complete strokes will it take him to swim across the pool? This is kind of like a fancy way of saying, what is the diameter? Okay. At this time, if you want to pause the video and try this question, you could literally try this entire lesson by yourself, because this lesson should be a review lesson. But I'm going to start by writing the formula C equals pi times diameter. Notice I didn't use C equals 2 pi r in this case because I really just want to find the diameter. So depending on the situation, you can use and alternate your formula. So we're using the unit of strokes. 176 strokes is equal to, I'm going to go ahead and plug in 3.14 because we need to use the number 3.14 here. So 176, which is C, is equal to 3.14 times the diameter. Okay, so you take your calculator, 176 divided by 3.14, and you get approximately 56. Okay, so that means D is approximately 56 strokes. All we're doing is we're dividing both sides by pi. You can also check and say 56 times 3.14, is that 176? And it is. Okay, that was easy. Number 3, the circumference of the center of a circle of a soccer field is 31.416. Wow, what a coincidence. The circumference, okay? So let's write C is equal to 31.416. What is the radius of the circle? To the nearest yard. Okay, so this time I'm not going to use C equals pi times D anymore. I'm going to use C equals 2 pi r. Now let's do it. Let's plug in. So 31.416, which is C, is equal to 2 times, we know that pi is 3.14. The only thing we don't know is r. So class, does anyone know what 2 times 3.14 is? If you said 6.28, that would be correct. So now you just have to divide both sides by 6.28 because you're trying to isolate r. 31.416 divided by 6.28 gives me approximately the radius approximately to the nearest yard is 5 yards. The radius of this soccer field. Oh, the circumference of the center of the circle. Remember, a soccer field, for us soccer players, I'm sure you see this all the time. We know that a circle is like that, right? And then you have like these two goals. Kind of looks like a basketball court, kind of. But, okay. Hopefully these questions are pretty easy for you, right? It's really not that hard. The word problems don't really make it more challenging. It's just you have to read it and you have to understand what they're asking for. Okay, find the radius of a circle round to the nearest hundredth with a circumference of 22. Okay, same question. C equals, they're asking us to find the radius. I'm going to go a little bit faster now. C in this case is 22 feet. So we just write 22 is equal to 2 times 3.14 times the radius. And then you just divide both sides by 6.28 again. Again, 6.28 is 2 times 3.14. So your radius is going to be 22 divided by 6.28. And you get r is equal to 3.5 feet. I really think you could have done that by yourself. So definitely, if you feel like you should just try the lesson as good practice, and then obviously you could watch me do it anytime. The size of a mountain lion's territory depends on how much food is available. The circular territory of a mountain lion may be as small as 5 miles in diameter, where there is plenty of food. Find the area of the region. Okay, so they said the diameter, this territory of a lion's food is 5 miles. Wow. Okay. But the thing is, with area, we know that the formula for area is pi r squared. And we do not want to use 5 because 5 is the diameter. So if 5 is equal to the diameter, we know that 2.5 is equal to the radius. That's really, really important. If you accidentally use 5 here, you're going to miscalculate the area. We know that the area, therefore, is 3.14 times 2.5 times 2.5. And I know that 2.5 times 2.5 is 6.25. And I multiply it by 3.14, and I think that's like 1884, something like that. Oops, I was wrong. The answer is 19.625 miles squared. Wow. So this mountain lion's territory is really, really large. Wow, I wonder if that's realistic. It's a pretty large surface or area. Okay, and then our final question. Obviously, I really, really enjoy this. This deals with talking about the best price, and it talks about one of my favorite foods of all time, which is pizza. Okay, so a pizza place charges $12 for a 12-inch pizza, $14 for a 14-inch pizza. Wow, $16 for a 16-inch pizza, and $20 for a 20-inch pizza. Which pizza is the best deal? Justify your response by finding the area per dollar for each. Okay, so the first thing we want to know is we want to realize is all of these numbers that I circled, these are all the diameters, right? When you describe a pizza, you take the pizza and you're simply increasing the size of the pizza's diameter. Now, you also know that that's inevitably and obviously going to affect the area, right? So you could think of this logically. Currently you're getting. It seems like you're getting a good price. It's like a $1 per diameter, but you also know that doesn't. It's not a direct like these are not exactly the same price. There's no way that they're the same price. It may look like it's the same price, but we know that diameter is not exactly equal to area. Okay, so you could actually it asks us to find the area per dollar. So in actuality, I'm going to find the area for all of them. Okay, so we know that a is equal to pi r squared, and I'm actually going to convert all of them to radius because radius is what we need to use to calculate the area. Okay, so a 12-inch pizza is going to have a 6-inch radius. 14-inch pizza is going to have a 7. 16-inch is 8. And then, wow, a 20-inch is going to have 10 as their radius. Okay. Now I'm going to calculate the area for all these. And I actually will leave it as pi for now. And then obviously I will calculate it in decimal form. So this area is 36 pi. This area is 49 pi. This area is 64 pi. And this area is 100 pi. These are the exact numbers. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator and calculate what it is. 36 times 3.14 is 113.04. 49 times 3.14, running a little bit out of time, 153.86. 64 times 3.14 is 296. And then obviously 3.14 times 100 is 314. Okay, so it's asking for area per dollar. So then you just divide this by the amount of money that you spend. You get this inches squared for all of them. And then you have to divide it by 12. You divide this by 14 because that's how much you're spending. And you divide this by 16. Divide this by 20. Does anyone know what the final answer is? I'll leave it as a mystery.